Good evening, everyone. In this particular video, we're going to talk about oil, and we have to focus our attention to oil. Of course, there hasn't been a lack of that recently because it has been the main driver for what's been going on in the markets. But now, finally, it has been a positive driver for the markets, and at some point intraday, oil was up by as far as 7 or 8%. So, very impressive move. It has come back down a little bit later on in the afternoon, and crude is actually negative now as of the recent open, but still net when you look at it compared to what has been going on recently. Very impressive move. Crude actually on Sunday evening was trading at 45, and today intraday it tagged the 55 area. So just think about it, a $10 move. Very impressive. So that's all great, but we want to know, how do we trade it? Is there something that we can do now or in the near future? Are there any levels that we can take advantage of? And the particular chart that I would like to look at is the USO chart, which tracks the crude futures perfectly. So you can use this one if you want to look at equities. And now looking at after hours, it is going up a little bit, although net after hours it is negative, because it follows the crude chart as well. Now, if I take out the after hours and start looking at what's actually going on the chart during the working hours, what we've noticed is that today we came into the $20 level, and I actually scalped this for a short. We had increasing volume. We tagged the $20 level. There were some other fib retracements as well that I'm not going to go into now, but overall a really nice scalp, and I made about $1,800 in about 5 minutes. So again, if you took the trade, congratulations, it worked out very well. But if you want to be a swing trader, or if you want to hold it for a little bit, you have to be a little bit careful. So it might be getting ahead of itself a little bit, so we might see a little bit of a reversal, at least a small little pullback, before it goes up higher. So there is potential for it to go higher, or maybe this is it and it goes down lower, which is what everybody's expecting. And I think there is some validity in that argument, with the fundamentals the way that they are. Oil probably ultimately wants to go down lower. Now on the intraday, at least right here, this is telling us that oil actually is basing into is putting in this bullish base, and based on my indicator here, actually it looks like it might break up to the upside. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. This is not looking bad, at least at the opening. Now you just one little caveat you have to keep in mind, is that the MACD is trending lower. So the MACD is telling us downside, but the stochastics are actually telling us that there might be more upside. So that's on the 10-minute chart. So this is quick scalping, but maybe you want to be a swing trader and you want to hold it for a day or two. At that point, we have to increase the time frame. But let me just look at, for the day traders out there, let me look at the 60-minute and the 120-minute, and then we'll look into the daily. Okay, so the 60-minute has put in this beautiful reversal candle right here on volume, so that's excellent. So that is telling us that it wants to go down lower, and now we actually see that with the stochastics. And you might argue that soon you might see a reversal also and a crossover in the MACD. So the 10 was bullish, so we might see a little bit more upside at the open tomorrow, and then ultimately maybe a little bit of a pullback. But again, it just, people have just been buying it today a lot, and there also has been a lot of short covering. So at some point those shorts are going to disappear, and then these buyers are going to be stuck, and so there has to be some sort of pullback here. It might go up a little bit more, but just based on the price action, there has to be a pullback in it. Now if I look at the 120-minute chart. Again, the stochastics are actually turning over, so definitely overbought here on the 120-minute chart, but the MACD is still looking good. So I would have to be in a little bit of a neutral territory based on this. But again, this is a little bit of a reversal signal right here, and it's on higher volume. The moving averages, especially the 200, is trending lower. But the smaller time frame moving averages are actually trending neutral to upside. Now, if I look at the daily, if you want to be a swing trader of this particular equity, well, what we have now is we have volume, but we don't have that reversal candle anymore, but it's still in a sort of semi-bearish mode. So buyers try to take it up, and then we retraced half of that candle. So it's a semi-bearish candle. It's not a full-blown bearish candle, obviously, but what we have now is probably some more upside, believe it or not. So based on this, there is going to be some more upside. So what I'm seeing on the USO is all over the place. I'm seeing a little bit of bearishness, a little bit of bullishness. So it's pretty much anybody's guess. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. Be very careful. If you are in a long, I would advise you to take some profit off. And then if you want to wait a little bit further, you can go ahead. There's a little bit of resistance right here where we had these candles, and then this 50 moving average is sloping downward. Sometimes with equities like these, I add on the 60 moving average, which I'm not gonna go into now, but you can also add the 60 moving average and see what that one is doing, and then also use that as a potential level. And then if we go down lower, well, it's anybody's guess where we might go. And of course, if you trade the crude futures, you're going to have to coincide the chart with this USO chart. So look at wherever you had this little bit of consolidation right here, and then take a look at where the 50 is, 50 moving average, and incorporate your stochastics and your MACD with it. But this is telling us a little bit more upside, at least as a swing trader. So we will see. Maybe in the near term we might have to pull back a little bit, which is what we saw on the 60-minute chart, and then maybe just build some more steam to go up higher. So there is actually a possibility, based on what I'm seeing, that we may go up to the 21 area, maybe even 22. But honestly, with the way that this has been trading, I cannot tell you with a high probability score. Usually when I take these swing trades, I go far above and beyond to find as many factors as I can to make it a really high probability trade. With this one, I can suggest, but I'm only about 65% certain, okay, if I can use that number roughly. Don't quote me on it, but I'm about that much certain that we may get up to that 21.30 to 22 level area. So my guess right now is that in the near term, meaning intraday, possibly tomorrow, a little bit of a pullback, because we're seeing some bearish signals, but ultimately probably a little bit higher, because I think there's going to be a lot of people who are thinking, let me short it, let me short it. This thing is going down, and that's usually when the market does another extra push higher. So again, it's anybody's guess at this point, but I would advise to use a very small position size, and also if you see that you have a profit, by all means take it, and then let the rest of your money be invested somewhere else, or you can always come back to oil and invest it on a pullback. But keep in mind, ultimately fundamentals are not looking right, but that does not rule out that for now we might see a little bit more bullishness. Where it's going to stop, I don't know, but my guess is this $22 level right here, and then you would have to coincide that with the crude. I'm thinking that this is probably going to be the $58 to $60 level. That would be my resistance area.